lady, ladies, I'm here on that show, and I'm here on that show to talk about news. We're gonna do a mega news video. We're gonna cover all, my lord, NFL, NBA, Nascar, wrestling, baseball. So let's get right into it. Let's start with Adam Schefter. So he listed commanders who will not travel with the team tonight to Madrid, who've been ruled out for Sunday's game versus the Dolphins. Oh, poor Madrid fans. What a shitty game. Jaden Daniels, Traylon Burks, Alay Cajo, and Trey Amos. Fibula, concussion, finger, and a left elbow. Traylon Burks underwent surgery today on his finger. It is not expected to be a long-term issue, but it is enough to knock him out for Sunday. Jerome Payne, watching defensive tackle, his one-game suspension was upheld upon appeal, so he appealed that suspension. He punched Amon-Ra in the face. As expected, they should fine him another $25,000 for wasting everybody's time trying to appeal that. So, for Monday Night Football, the Packers receiver Matthew Golden is inactive versus the Eagles due to a shoulder injury. Dontavian Wicks, Savion Williams are active, as is their starting right tackle, Zach Tom. So Matthew Golden is out, but the other three are active. So some bad news for the Jets. Well, they are the Jets. Receiver Garrett Wilson, he's expected to miss at least 3 to 4 weeks with a knee sprain, source says. Good news is no surgery, just rehab, so he's going to be sidelined once again with a knee injury. I'd probably be hurt if Justin Fields was throwing the ball to me too. So yeah, Garrett Wilson's out for 3 to 4 weeks. The Bills are signing receiver Mako Hardman to the practice squad per source. Commanders head coach Dan Quinn told reporters that he now will take over as defensive coordinator and call Washington's defense. Probably should have from the beginning. The Eagles activated edge rusher Nolan Smith to their 53-man roster for tonight's game at Green Bay. Chargers tight end Rondé Gadsden. He underwent an MRI for the knee injury suffered last night. It was revealed a quad bruise. They will now have him per source day today. We already talked about Jerome Payne, who will appeal his suspension, and that he can't travel unless he wins the suspension. Obviously, he didn't. Terry McLaurin will travel to Spain, but he will not play. Shocker. After a random drug test 2 weeks ago, doctors discovered that Broncos linebacker Alex Singleton had a testicle cancer, basically tumor, that they removed the day after Denver defeated the Raiders on Thursday Night Football. That's crazy, man. A random drug test saved his life. Giants ownership announced that GM Joe Shane will remain in his position and lead the search for a new head coach, because we'll talk about that in a moment when we get to it. Bengals head coach Zach Taylor told reporters that defensive end Trey Hendrickson is doubtful to return this week versus the Steelers. Joe Burrow actually returned to practice today in a limited capacity. And here's the big news today. Brian Dable is out as the Giants head coach, sources. So finally, he got fired. But they stuck with him this whole time and fired him right when, I guess, when the team has a glimmer of hope, people are saying. But when they've collapsed 4 times, 3 times in the fourth quarter, Brian Dable just ain't a good football coach, man. For the third straight year, they're 2-8. They've blown 4 double-digit leads and 4 road losses. It was time to fire him. But Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka will be the interim head coach. Oh boy, Mike Kafka. Yeah, it's gonna be so fun, right, guys? Mike Kafka. Yeah, Brian Dable got fired. C.J. Stroud, Titus Howard, Jalen Petrie each remain in concussion protocol as the Texans prepare to play the Titans. Dan Campbell is taking over play calling duties from first-year offensive coordinator John Morton. So Dan Campbell is taking over the play calling duties. See what we got from JP Football. The Steelers are releasing veteran safety Juan Thornhill. He'll be available for claim on waivers. Commander's second-round corner Trey Amos is likely done for the season after suffering a broken fibula. Joe Burrow will return to practice this week per your report. He was in a limited today, but I'm sure he'll start ramping up and be able to return this season. Gronk will sign a one-day contract on Wednesday, retires a Patriot, so he's going to sign that one-day contract, then retires a Patriot. And per Rappaport, Joe Burrow has been officially designated to return off IR per The Wire. The Steelers claim defensive back Sebastian Castro from the Bucks. The Dolphins have parted ways with co-directors of player personnel Adam Ingroff and Anthony Hunt. Even after the Dolphins win, people get fired. John Harbaugh said that Marlon Humphrey may need surgery on his finger. If he gets the surgery, he'll miss a week or two. Jonathan Grenard, Vikings edge, who left Sunday's loss with a shoulder injury, is dealing with what is believed to be a minor injury that may just cost him weeks. Overall, good news right there. They may just miss only a week. But I believe we got through everything here. I got one little other thing here. Raiders offensive lineman Jackson Powers Johnson suffered an ankle injury that will land him on IR. They could potentially end his season, so he could potentially be done for the season. But yeah, that's all for the NFL. So let's get some MLB here from MLB Deadline News. We'll see what we got, if we have anything from Jeff Passan. The Royals are acquiring outfielder Cameron Meisner from the Rays. Orioles and Anoli Paredes agreed to a minor league deal. So the Mets will come away, end quote, with one, if not two, frontline starting pitchers this offseason per Bob Nalgas. The Tigers, end quote, will at least listen to trade offers on starting pitcher Trey Skubal, but would have to be completely overwhelmed to move him. It's kind of crazy that's even a thing. They could listen to trades. So the Pirates, they won't even listen to trade proposals for starting pitcher Paul Skeens, so don't bother calling. Yeah, he'll leave you, when his contract's up, he'll end up leaving you for nothing. If, you don't, get a better baseball team. Bo Bichette's free agent infielder is expected to re-sign with the Blue Jays this offseason. That's not really a surprise. I fully expect that as well. Rival GMs believe Kyle Tucker will sign with the Yankees, Blue Jays, or Dodgers this winter. And, the Dodgers, they will be aggressive as anyone in free agency this winter. Aren't we always aggressive in free agency? But yeah, they freed up $87 million with Clayton Kershaw, Michael Conforto, Chris Taylor, and Kirby Yates went off the books this winter. So I fully expect them to be aggressive, and we'll see who they get. Two executives from different organizations suggest that the Orioles could be an under-the-radar team involved in the market for Kyle Tucker. Jeff Passan, we'll talk about this from him since it's now up here. Cleveland Guardians pitchers Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz have been indicted by prosecutors in Brooklyn on a host of charges related to a scheme to rig bets on pitchers thrown in MLB games. Ortiz was arrested in Boston yesterday. Clase is not currently in custody. Millionaire pro athletes trying to risking it for $12K. So the Mets, Yankees, Padres, and Rangers are all expected to be involved in the market for Edwin Diaz. So teams expect to be in the market for Edwin Diaz. Some rival executives say the Yankees and Blue Jays are two teams to watch on Japanese international free agent Moteka Murakami. And along with the shit about Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Clase, they could face up to 65 years in prison if convicted on all charges. Fraud, conspiracy, and bribery charges. If it's up to 65 years, they're not going to get... Maybe they won't get 65 years, I don't know, but... Yeah, they're cooked. So now let's move on to NBA. If the Grizzlies were to entertain trading John Morant, they would either want a star player who can sell tickets or a boatload of picks and young players in return. Well, with John Morant's value right now, I don't think he'd be getting much. Sorry. The Miami Heat are a potential landing spot for John Morant. It's Pat Riley's home for distressed players. Maybe it is, but I don't think it's really going to help John Morant. The Timberwolves have checked in on John Morant. Nico Harris's time with the Mavericks could be coming to an end, as his relationship with the ownership has reportedly crumbled. It's a matter of when, not if, Nico Harris will be fired. I mean, he should. Don't really need to explain why. The guy's an idiot. Brooklyn Nets guard Cam Thomas will miss at least 3 to 4 weeks with a left hamstring strain. Torian Prince suffered a herniated disc in his neck and is expected to miss a significant period of time. Shot 42.9% on three-pointers in his first 8 games of the regular season. So those are 2 little stories there by Shams. And that's really all for the NBA, so let's move on. So let's talk about wrestling now. Some few things here by WrestleOps. John Cena's last time in Boston. World Champion CM Punk. Stephanie Vakir versus Raquel for the women's world title. Charlotte and Alexa versus the Kabuki Warriors for the tag titles. And the last time is now tournament. Sheamus versus Shinsuke and Priest versus Rusev. That is what is advertised for tonight. Should be a good show, hopefully. And World Champion CM Punk is advertised to call out Logan Paul tonight on Monday Night Raw. Whatever. And the latest matches that were announced for Last Time Is Now tournament. The Miz versus Jey Uso. LA Knight. Sorry. LA Knight versus a surprise opponent. Shit says The Miz versus Jey Uso. Get out of here, bro. So, Lash Legend officially debuted on SmackDown on Friday. She'll be a fixture on the show going forward. And she's going to be with Nia Jax. Look, that just don't interest me. Sorry. So, we got a few things here from Cultureholic. WWE talent are befuddled by the entire situation of Ridge Holland's exit from Luke Menzies having financial issues after years in WWE to him being told his contract will be allowed to expire while injured, to WWE then firing him. So, Wrestling Observer, Drew McIntyre received a storyline suspension on SmackDown as he's taking time off to do a movie. WWE treats him like shit, so hopefully, I hope he goes off to Hollywood permanently, because WWE treats him like dog shit creatively. So apparently on AEW Collision, Nixon, Noah, and Miranda Lees apparently refused to lose or something, and they end up like walking out of AEW Collision. So, despite their comments, there is bad blood for they walked out of AEW Collision on November 1st. So Young's Motorsports will expand to 2 O'Reilly Xfinity teams in 2026. Ryan Ellis will drive the O2. The 42 is TBD, although Alfredo could return. Truck program plans will still TBD. So, lawsuit shit's still going on, but I'm not going to talk about it. It's just too much to read. So from Daily Downforce, here's some updates. Hettinger Racing will open a new team as expected to attempt a full-time schedule. Drivers are TBD. Jeb Burt will return to join Anderson Racing, and Blaine Perkins is also expected to return. Austin Green will run around 20 races next year for JAR/Doug Peterson. I guess I'll go over a little bit of the lawsuit shit, so there's not really much else. From the filing to dispose Hendrick Penske, it is NASCAR that included Hendrick and Mr. Penske on their trial witness list, despite counsel for the 2 men repeatedly telling plaintiffs that Mr. Hendrick and Mr. Penske had no intention of testifying. NASCAR wants Hendrick Penske testimony deposition limited charter next gen Origin Value and charters now in IndyCar. From filing, NASCAR's questioning will not seek information regarding the team's income, expenses, yada yada yada. I don't think there's anything else really. Well, a safety vehicle crashed into a car during the NASCAR Mexico race. That was pretty funny. But yeah, that's all I have to say for this news video. So leave a like, comment, subscribe for more. Check us out. Peace.